Hello friends, welcome to the farm.
Today we're going to answer some of the most commonly asked questions. Well, we hear a lot of the same questions over and over, so we figured this is the best way to address them in a video. So those of you that don't know us, we're Don and Brenda Werdenberg, and we bought a 40-acre farm after he retired, which is an unusual retirement program.
Absolutely. So I guess we consolidated the questions, and the first one is, what was your life like before you bought the farm?
Very different than it is now.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we lived your typical suburban life. He worked out of the home. I was in the home with the kids. We lived in a neighborhood on like a quarter of an acre, just very typical. And our kids went to school, and then they finally grew up, left, got married, had kids. We loved having grandkids. And it was very typical. What did you do?
Well, we had a daughter and two sons. Again, they're all married now. I worked in the same career pretty much since I started right out of college. I joined the insurance industry and retired after 36 years, insurance executive.
Mm-hmm. But you also did something interesting on the side.
Yeah, that's probably the more interesting things I did as a volunteer. Volunteer in the community. I was an EMT and then fire chief. I was involved in a lot of building projects for our church and other organizations. And some of those projects even took me to Africa for construction projects, children's hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was doing all that, what were you doing?
I was home taking care of the kids and renting the house, but I also ran a business. I made jewelry and sold it on Etsy and Amazon. And it got to be a pretty big business. My daughter actually joined me in the business towards the last couple of years.
That was a very successful business.
Yeah.
It's still ongoing, but that's 20 plus years.
Yeah. And we did a lot of cycling and hiking and traveling.
Yeah, we really enjoyed the traveling. And I think early on we did more hiking and backpacking. We loved to head out into the woods and sleep in a little tent. No camping. This is real backpacking.
Everything
right?
you have is on your back.
Yeah. And then we did cycling and cycling trips. Not this kind, the pedal kind,
Yeah.
you know.
The hard kind, but the fun kind.
So everything changed, didn't it?
Yes, dramatically.
So now you know what our life was like before the farm, and that leads to the question is, why in the world would you buy a farm, particularly once you're retired?
And it didn't happen real quick, but we didn't think about it for a long time either. It wasn't like a long-term dream. Just in the neighborhood, I did a lot of gardening, and I had raised beds, and I quickly ran out of sunshine because it was trees all over. Mm-hmm. And I really started to want chickens. I wanted to have chickens and fresh eggs, and we just felt like we needed more room. So we started looking for 2 or 3, maybe 4 acres, and wound up with a 42-acre farm.
Yeah. Our daughter had some influence in that. She actually located this property when we were all on vacation together. And it was, funny enough, it was on a cycle route that we rode by it quite a few times.
Yeah.
And it really didn't strike us as something that was interesting, was it?
No, but she found this thing and she said, you know, a farm like this, you could buy it and we could all live there. Us and our 3 children and grandchildren, the whole family.
Well, that sounded crazy, didn't it?
I'm thinking, yeah, right, that's never going to happen. But we, came home from vacation, made an appointment to see the farm, and I was not excited about it.
No.
It wasn't run down, but it needed some work. And just like the trees hadn't been trimmed, when we cycled by, we really couldn't even see the house because the trees were almost to the ground.
Yeah.
So I came into it with a bad attitude, but as soon as I walked in the door of the house, I could see our family here. I just knew it fit, and I just could see it.
Yeah. So again, we didn't have any farming background. The closest that we had were both of your parents grew up on a farm, and you probably heard farm conversations at the dinner table. And whenever I met with the whole extended family. Quite a few of them were farmers, so I would listen in, but not really sure what they were talking about.
He should have probably listened closer. We both should have.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I didn't really have any long-term dreams of living on a farm, but it did sound attractive because it's a big piece of ground. It was a big project, and I love projects. It involved a lot of equipment, you know, tractors, and I also like a challenge, learning new things. I don't mind being thrown in over my head and trying to swim my way out. So this was what it was, giant project.
And two people, you know, in their late 50s, early 60s, thrown into a 42-acre farm. It was a challenge.
Yeah. And you know what? Over the years, it's really grown on me. I loved the property right away, but now that I know where all the rocks are and where the great soil is and where the animals come through and it really grows into, and you love the land, and I love this land now, and I love living here. And it's great also because our grandchildren love being here. It's filled with all their toys and buggies and trees to climb and hay and a barn, and we have a basketball set up in the barn, so it's a great...
We should clarify, one of our children has already built a house here and lives here with her two children.
Yeah.
Another family lives 5 minutes away, and they have 6 kids, but they're here a lot. And then the other one lives in a town about a half hour away, and will probably be moving here in the next couple of years.
Yeah. So it's been really good for our family. So that's been the biggest win, I think.
Another question we've been asked is, why did you start a YouTube channel, and what's it all about?
I think we did it initially just because all of our friends and family thought we were crazy and kind of wanted to know what was going on here. So it was pretty casual. I mean, it's kind of casual now, but it was very casual in the beginning. Yeah. Because it was only people we knew that were watching.
We didn't have a clue what we were doing either, in farming or YouTube.
You guys ought to do a YouTube channel. So this is our beginning of the YouTube channel. You know, sign up, subscribe.
Subscribe and like and do whatever you're supposed to do on YouTube.
But
that's so true.
But it evolved over the years. I mean, we've really developed a community with like-minded people on YouTube. So it's been a really neat thing.
Yeah, it really surprised us. And then we had a viewer who wrote into us that was also knew how to develop things and channels and said, you guys have something unique there. Plus you're kind of a senior couple. I think there's a place in the market. They gave us a couple ideas, a thing to do, and we enjoyed it. So we said, well, let's go ahead and do it. You know, we're not like a lot of other channels in a lot of ways, or like even asking for likes and subscribes.
And we're not going to be sponsored or selling things on the channel.
No.
That's not us.
No, it isn't. And our style's different. In fact, it annoys some people, actually. If
a couple people have commented, you guys talk too much. When we're doing like recipes and stuff, sometimes we get chit-chatting. We talk too much.
Well, if you dial in just for a how-to channel.
A really quick how-to.
Yeah, we're not, because we, you know, chit-chat too much and it's unpersonal. But I guess in the end, really, it's about our adventure, learning, because, you know, frankly, in every area that we do, there are people out there who know more about it than we do, but we're sharing with you our experience of doing some things for the first time, and now after 5 or 6 years, we have learned a few things.
Some of them the hard way.
Yeah, and it's really grown, and to me, the most exciting part is that the community has grown around it, and we just love to see your comments and when you're commenting to each other. That's terrific.
I mean, that was the biggest thing. Once we started getting more viewers, it was amazing some of the comments we got, whether it was questions or suggestions to help us in things we do. It just, man, we had no idea that many people out there were our age especially and like-minded.
Yeah.
It was really neat. Well, and another thing the YouTube channel has done for us is it's a record for our kids, our grandkids, great-grandkids, who knows, to see, you know, how Meemaw and Pop-Pop started this farm, you know, and maybe how crazy Meemaw and Pop-Pop were. But this record will be around forever.
So it's kind of interesting, or even almost funny to me. We've had a handful of viewers say, like, were you guys in radio and TV before you did the farm? It's like,
No.
no. I did a lot of presentations in the insurance industry, but, you know, they were just boring insurance presentations. And you did a lot of presentations.
I did some teaching at church, just
Yeah.
Bible studies and stuff, women's Bible study.
Yeah.
But not as many as he's done.
No.
Well, and they also ask if we have a script, who writes the script, who does whatever. We have a basic idea what we're going to talk about, but there's no script. We just kind of wing it.
Yeah. So we're just trying to be ourselves. Some also ask, who does the editing? Brenda does all the. I started off in the beginning, do the editing, and she discovered that she really likes it, and she does a terrific job on that.
But he's the video photography person. I mean, his pictures are just amazing, and that's not my gift.
I do the
Editing
sound
seems to be
and
more
the
my gift.
video and
Yeah.
the pictures. So
Yeah. So once we get done, then I take over.
yeah, and you really love that. So we enjoy it, and I think we'll continue doing it as long as we enjoy our time. Okay, now we're going to transition away from the personal questions in the beginning to our farm itself and some detail about the farm.
Like, why did we buy this particular farm?
Well, I think we initially, as we said earlier, we were looking for a smaller piece of ground, but then the more we started to talk about it and realize it, there was potential that our family would want to live here. So we changed the scope from 3 to 5 acres to a larger site. And this particular site here was good for us because it was close to our old home, which is right in our stomping ground, or I should say our cycling ground, close to all of our friends and very close to our church. Kind of the center of our community was right here.
Yeah. It's only a little while away, but the lifestyle is drastically different.
Yeah. As the crow flies, we're only about 2 miles away from our suburban neighborhood, but it is very different here, and we love it.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm thinking things about the farm that I really liked and that I would look for again if I had to do it over. We love it that the soil is really good here. We're surrounded by farms. We're in a belt of soil they call limestone soil. It's some of the best soil here in Pennsylvania. So we're fortunate that it holds water and it grows pretty well even when it doesn't rain.
Yeah. Well, and for me, I wanted an old house. Part of our house was built in 1840, and then there was an addition in 1880, and the barn was actually built in 1885.
I think when we first saw the house, the advertisement said that it was 1910.
And I thought that was pretty old.
Yeah, and then we came in and we saw written on the wall, what was it, 1840 written. So
Pretty
that
cool.
was to our delight. We loved that. And again,
It was
we didn't know
definitely
anything.
a selling point.
Yeah, we didn't know anything about root cellars or larders, and that turns out to be some of the best
Yeah.
features of
Yeah.
the house.
That's the ice cream on the top of the cake, you know?
Yeah. So the other thing I liked is that it's in a different municipality than our old house. The other municipality is very built up, and this municipality is really dedicated to farms and supporting farmers and the farm community. So that helps us here. It's very common to see tractors going up and down the road, so I don't feel self-conscious when I drive our equipment to the neighboring farms and around because tractors are readily accepted. So. And all of the ordinances are to the favor of farms. So that's really a key item, the support you're going to get in the municipality. So, also in our community, the taxes are lower here for farms. Really, farmers couldn't afford to pay the per acre tax charge that you would if you lived in the suburban. So there's a significant discount if you're in our local laws in Pennsylvania called clean and green, and they're probably different in other states, but many municipalities have breaks for land taxes. Now, we don't get any breaks on the house or any of the buildings, but the land does. So that's important too.
But you have to own a property 10 acres or more. So, but dividing the property, each of the 4 pieces are more than 10 acres. So the whole farm stays in clean and green.
Yeah. So tax strategy was an important decision. Yeah.
So we also get asked, is the farm profitable?
I would say that depends on whether you're counting dollars or quality of life. Quality of life, it definitely is, and the benefit. It's very difficult to make money on a small farm. I would say if you're going to just do row crops, that probably would not be profitable. Profitable areas for us would be the produce. That's a lot of work, and a lot of work
A lot
for
of work.
you.
We sell it at the farm stand right in front of the barn.
And if you don't have a farm stand, which is very convenient for us, then it's necessary to go to market a few days a week and sell. So that's a big time commitment, you know. We also have hens for eggs and cattle, and both of those are kind of break even. Really, to have a profitable cattle operation, you need to have a cow calf and have a bull. We buy just feeder calves from a local farm and raise 2 or 3 a year. So we do it because we like it, and it's kind of break even. Same with the eggs. We spent a couple $1,000s to build the chicken coop, and
But we did build it ourselves.
we did. We saved some money there, but we have to buy feed, and we're getting $5 a dozen for eggs now.
And that would vary greatly on what area you live.
Yeah.
We get $5 is more than some, less than others. So we're kind of right in the middle price range.
Because I know some for, you know, eggs like we have here, they would get $6, $7, $8.
Yeah, yeah.
So with that, it would be profitable.
And I mean, there's the money we take in, but there's also the money we save by not buying all this food, the beef, the eggs, all the produce. We grow a lot of our food.
So it does offset expenses and to some degree. But overall, for us, it's it's about a break even, maybe a little positive when you look at all of the expenses that it offsets.
Together.
The next series of questions has to do with some of the equipment that we use here on the farm. Like probably the one you get most of is the carrier that you have for the ball jars. And it carries what, 8 jars at once?
Or 8 quarts,
So
8
where
pints,
did you
whatever.
get that at?
Well, it's actually an antique milk carrier that milkmen used to use to deliver milk. But the quarts fit in there perfectly. And see, we have to go up and downstairs to take stuff back and forth between the larder. And
That can be dangerous, can't it?
yeah, I fell one time. So then we got the carrier. But I think any antique store, you start looking, you could find one. But
Yeah.
it works perfectly.
And you want one that's light. This
Yeah.
one is actually made out of aluminum, and it works really well.
But it's strong. But then, yeah, till you get 8 quarts full of food in there,
Yeah.
it gets heavy. So the carrier doesn't need to add a lot of
You
weight
wouldn't
to it.
have to have all 8 in it, but it allows you to carry with one hand and have a hand on
Hold
the
on
rail.
to the railing. Safety first.
That's important. So the other one you get a lot of questions on, you have 2 of those portable induction
Yes.
burners that you put on the island.
I use them when I can because I'm usually doing the cooking on the stove, and then I have the portable burners I use on the island so I can have 4 or 5 pots going at one time. And they're portable induction burners. And I'll put a link below to those. I've had a lot of people ask for them. And they're actually a commercial grade so they can handle the weight of the canning pots.
Yeah, the specs say it can carry up to 65 pounds, which should cover most of the water bath, particularly
Yeah.
other. So, in addition to that, what other ones do we have?
The food processor.
Okay.
What food processor do I use? Especially when I use the peel and dice when I did potatoes. And it's a Breville Sous Chef 16 peel and dice. But I don't think they carry that exact model, but I'm sure Breville has another peel and dice. And the peel and dice part of it does really work.
And I think the final one they ask a lot about, which surprised me, it was difficult to get, but your aprons are a big hit.
Yeah, I wear aprons when I'm canning and cooking and stuff, and a lot of people like them and have asked where I got them. Well, they're just from Amazon. So I'll put a link below to the ones I use.
Yeah. No, they work well, and they seem to clean up
Yeah,
good.
they do, and I have a red one and a blue one, but they have all different colors. Now, we get people asking us a lot why we are not off-grid, and that's by choice.
Yes, it is. Well, first of all, we're located right next to the grid, so there's really not any advantage of being off-grid. Now, however, we do generate all of our own electricity here. In fact, at the end of the year, we settle up with the energy company and we get either about $800 to $1,000 back after the year. So it's really to our advantage to be on the grid, because during the day when it's the heaviest use and it's a sunny day, we're using full load of power and sending power back into the grid, and at night we take energy back from the grid. So there's no need for us to have batteries because the grid kind of acts as our batteries. So last year we generated almost 40 megawatt hours of power. Now, it may not mean a lot to many of you, but that's more, about twice as what the average home would use.
Well, how do we do that?
We have solar panels. There's 88 solar panels in different configurations. One of them is on our solar pavilion, which are east-west configuration. And then we have 3 inverters inside one of our ag buildings.
But it was good for us to do it, and it's cost effective because our son designed it all. He's an engineer. And then he, my sons, and our son-in-law built everything. They built the pavilion, put the things on, the panels. They did all the work, so we had no labor costs.
We made connections with a solar wholesaler in Philadelphia, so we loaded up the truck and the big trailer and went and got all the supplies at a much cheaper rate. So we were able to put solar in for about half the cost if you were to do through retail. So for us it was definitely worth it, and in 5-6 years here we have totally repaid our investment, and now we're in the positive. So we save about $6,000 a year in energy that we would have bought from the grid, and we get an additional $800 to $1,000 back as profit.
You know, people say we were crazy doing this to retire, but it's not a bad retirement program because we produce our own electricity. We don't have an electricity bill. We have a septic tank, so we have no septic bill. We have a well. We don't have a water bill. And we had all those bills at the old house. So that helps, plus all the food, offsets a lot of costs for us.
And the taxes are lower here than they were in our old house. So that all works together to make this, I think, a wise choice for us.
We're not totally crazy.
Yeah.
Well, if we look extra happy at the moment, it's because it just started to rain, and we haven't had rain in a long time. So we are very excited to hear the pitter-patter of raindrops.
Hopefully it continues.
Oh, hopefully. We need it so bad.
So I have one more question for you. So as we get older, and we may have to let go of some things and activities that we can maybe no longer do, what would be the last thing that you would want to hold on to, that you identify most with the farm, that you enjoy the most?
Only one. I don't know. It's a toss-up between the gardening and the chickens. I mean, gardening, I can't imagine not growing something. Even if I had pots just with some tomatoes and a few flowers, I love to grow things. But yet, I don't know if I could live without my chickens. And the eggs. We eat eggs pretty much every morning, so I don't know. I'd probably have to have a little garden and a little batch of chickens. I cheated. 2 things.
You did cheat.
What about you? What's one thing you would hold on to?
I just love the farm with the open space. I enjoy walking the dog 2 times a day, going out into the field, letting the dog run free.
Ruby likes that too.
And just walking and the sense of the farm and the open space. So I would have a very difficult time letting go of that, and I don't know that I could move back into a neighborhood or a condo without the open space.
It would be hard.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy the most. So The very last question now to wrap things up, they asked, okay, now that you've been doing it for 6 years, are you still happy that you bought the farm? Would you do it over again?
Yes. Now there's a few days by the end of the day when you're exhausted, you think, what did we do? But overall, yes, I'm very thankful and happy we bought the farm. You?
I agree, and we've learned a lot, and I think we've learned enough now to know where we need extra help and what things to let go of as we go forward. So, yeah, it's been a great decision because, you know, we're different, but this has kept us busy. It's kept us together, a common purpose and joy and a family. So, I'm not sure that I saw this 20 years ago, looking into retirement. Now, what are we going to do to not drive each other crazy and to be able to be, you know, to enjoy our time together?
So we don't drive each other crazy?
Yeah, on occasion.
Not as much as I thought we would, you know, together all the time.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us on the Wardenberg Family Farm, and we look forward to seeing you again on our next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.